searching for a shelter for my soul, an understanding of the greater plan. In these walls I've seen the light of love pure and divine. Helps me remember who I really am. In every face it's clear, we're all God's children here. And it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home. It's a place to share your burden. It's safe to shed a tear. Say a prayer and raise your voice in song. Where every heart is honored and every path is true. No one's here to judge you right or wrong. And there's no shame, no sin in this place where love begins. And it feels like home, it feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home, it feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home.
Let's take a moment together. Quiet reflection. And if you're okay with it, let my words speak to your heart. And this reflection is from this week's The Daily Word. It really resonated deeply with me, and I wanted to share it, both to enlighten you with the words and to strengthen my personal commitment to its action. Everything that is happening in the world around us is an extension of what is happening inside each one of us. Our individual beliefs are part of the collective consciousness of our planet. My own thoughts and feelings create waves of energy that move outward from me. Others feel those feelings and pass them on. My inner conflict contributes to conflict. And my own peace allows peace to grow. Every time I take the opportunity to heal something inside myself, that process allows for healing in the world. With this in mind, I will choose to be a channel for peace. I purposefully bring my awareness to the divine energy, allowing it to radiate from me to the outer, allowing for the realization of lasting peace. A world of peace begins with me. And so it is.
Feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. It feels like home. A family that I can call my own. It feels like home. It feels like home. I finally found a place where I belong. It feels like home. It feels like
Around and around we go, singing our songs, sweet and low. Our song of love and song of life. You choose what you want to hear. Spring's eternal life or death's eternal damnation. Love's summer song or winter's heartache pose. This life is yours. Sing what you may. Come sun and sprinkling shower, you can give a tune to everything, no matter what the hour. Sing your song to your heart's content of love's ballad or death's lament. Sing your song to be heard from the highest hill to evening flower. Sing it high, sing it low, but sing it anyway. For life is for singing the praises of being here.
I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender. I am a child of the living God, made in the image of perfect love. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender. I surrender.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Look, it's nice to see everybody back from summer vacations and welcoming some new friends. So just a couple of reminders. Next week is the second Sunday of the month, so it'll be our Youth and Family Hospitality Sunday. So you can look forward to lots of spectacular treats from the kids. Next week will also be our Aging Up ceremony. As the kids begin school, the kids who are moving into 3rd grade, 6th grade, and 9th grade will be advancing to the next age level here at Unity. So we'll have a special ceremony for them next week. And then also just a reminder, as I've shared with you, I have accepted a full-time job working with children with autism. So I begin that this week. So next Sunday will also be my final day here as director of the program. And Stacy over there will be stepping up to be the director of the program. So we'll give her a warm welcome next week as well.
Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for blessing and teaching us. God bless you. Amen. All that I am, all I've been given to you, my God, I surrender.
And we bless Michelle on her first week at a new job. How exciting. Good morning. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. You know, I told first service, when I left my house at around 8 this morning, I just thought, you know, I'm a gal who likes 4 seasons. So I love summer, but then when it transitions to fall, I really love that. And I think early September is my favorite. Got up this morning, it was chilly, crisp, sunshiny, now it's warm out. What a great day to be here, and just, woo, love it, love it. So, when we say welcome in Unity, we mean welcome to all. Anyone who chooses to participate in our spiritual community is welcome, no matter what your position in life is, and even if you don't like September, it's okay. We do not limit our welcome to a certain lifestyle or experience or tradition. Whoever you are and whatever passions fill your soul, we welcome you with open arms, and I'm very glad to be here with you today. It's a good service. I know, it's always a good service, but this one's really good. I'm glad to be here twice today. The message that I shared earlier from the Daily Word, I really wanted to share that message again, partly because I just want to keep repeating it to myself. But I have to say that sometimes it feels like things happening around us may be out of control or spiraling. It just feels that way sometimes, personally. And sometimes things feel negative to me. And this message reminded me that I actually do have some control over the way I think and feel. And also that this in turn gives me some power over what's happening around me, or maybe some power over how I perceive what's happening around me. It reminded me of one of the 5 unity principles that says we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. So if I can shift my thoughts, my responses, my actions to peace and harmony, and that if many of us do this more actively, we truly could change the dynamics of the world around us, or maybe the way we perceive the dynamics of the world around us. So thank you for hearing that today. One of the ways we do this is through prayer. I love what you said about prayer. You'll hear it. Yes. So spot on for me. But as a Unity Church, we believe that affirmative prayer is the highest form of creative thought. Through prayer, we can release negative thoughts and hold in mind statements of spiritual truth. Through meditation and prayer, we can experience the presence of God. Prayer and meditation heighten our awareness of truth and thereby transform our lives. Prayer is valuable because it not only alters the circumstances and conditions of your life, not because it alters the circumstances and conditions of your life, but because it alters you. Charles Fillmore said, "You can make yourself a new creature, and you can build the world about you to your highest ideals. Do not fear, but speak to spirit, the desires of your heart." So at Unity in Lynnwood, we offer many ways to support you in your prayer life. We have a confidential prayer line. That number is on your bulletin or on our website. Or you can take advantage of one-on-one prayer with one of our prayer chaplains after service. If you're interested in that, you can come up to the sides and one of our prayer chaplains will welcome you. And the prayer chaplains are identified by their beautiful purple stoles. Chaplains, would you mind standing so that we can see you? Thank you. We're so honored by your service. We have prayer slips in the seats in front of you, say prayer request forms. They look like this. You can fill that out also and put it in the offering basket later, and then this will get lots of confidential prayer attention here at Unity in Lynnwood. And a note about our prayer chaplains is while they pray with every request, they cannot make unsolicited calls to third parties. So you can't kind of write that on here. Nor can they call you if you don't leave your name. So please pay attention to that, and thank you for your understanding. Also, as part of our Sunday service, we use affirmations as a way to connect with Spirit and to guide us through our lives. Charles Fillmore also said that affirmations are positive statements of truth, and that by affirming such truth, we are lifted out of false thinking into the consciousness of Spirit. Each time we pray, positively and faithfully, we are calling forth the divine activity that is always there with us. So today's affirmation is behind me on the screen. I'm going to say it once. You can listen, take it in, and then if you're compelled to stand, you can, and we'll all say it together. I recommit to my spiritual awakening and to the dawning of a higher consciousness through the renewing of my mind. Okay, would you like to join me? We'll say that together. I recommit to my spiritual awakening and to the dawning of a higher consciousness through the renewing of my mind. And so it is. Why don't y'all take a moment and say hi to each other?
when you walk into the edge of those dark and lonely woods, and when I ask how was your day, you answer, not so good. And when nothing seems to be working out quite the way it should, I will shine the light. When the skies up above you fill with gray and stormy clouds, and there's not a single face you know in the maddening crowd, when you know that you will make your way, but you just can't see how, I will shine the light. I will shine the light. I will shine the light. I will hold you in my arms until everything's all right. I will shine the light. When your worries, they won't let you sleep and rob you of your days, and you've looked in all directions, but you still can't find your way, when you just need someone to remind you that it's all gonna be okay, I will shine the light. I will shine the light. I will hold you in my arms until everything's all right. I will shine the light. Sometimes we jump into the great unknown. Some roads we all will have to walk alone, but waiting there in the end is a heart that calls you a friend. That's me, clapping the loudest, welcoming you home. So when your heart is heavy like a stone from carrying its load, and you look into the mirror and see someone you don't know, or when the shadows are closing in on you like a hand around your throat, I will shine the light. I will shine the light. I will hold you in my arms until everything's all right. I will shine the light.
Your Board of Trustees is ever in excellent stewardship and devoted service to you. Would you welcome your chair and your treasurer? Their names are Nadine Pierre and Nancy Merrill to the platform.
Good morning. We, your Board of Trustees, would like to thank you for your generous support expressed so clearly through your hands, heart, and finances. In our deep commitment to cultivating and maintaining a healthy community, we offer a short mid-year update on the budget, since it's generally presented in January. Of late, we have successfully funded the new street side sign, a 2-year painting of the exterior, the telephone and technology upgrades, and the purchase of the 5.5 adjacent wetlands, and even more.
Pretty cool, wouldn't you say? For 2018, in what is otherwise proving to be a realistic and achievable budget, we're falling just a little bit behind in the area of Giver's Circle, hospitality, mail-in giving, and service giving. We're performing at about 92%. In other words, this category is a little shy of what it should be. Although we're used to, in the second half of the year, the giving consistently enjoys an upstick in this category, we've chosen to be full and early disclosure on this single point. After all, we are in here together.
So please see any trustee, Reverend Nina, Dr. Richard, with any questions you might have, and always thank you very much for all of your support. In closing, we would like to invite you into an affirmation. You guys know how this goes, right? So I read it first, and then I ask you to join me, and we read it together, right? So the affirmation: God is my source. God is our source. And that source supports the evolving, unfolding, soul-stirring idea that is unity in Lynnwood in miraculous ways. So will you all please stand as you are able and read it with me? God is my source. God is our source. And that source supports the evolving, unfolding, soul-stirring idea that is unity in Lynnwood in miraculous ways. And so it is. So we ask you all that you affirm this with us and that you continue to affirm this with us. And to make it a little easier so you don't have to memorize it or snap a picture of it, as you exit the sanctuary, the ushers have a card with that affirmation on it for you. So thank you all very much.
How about thank you?
We really appreciate
How about thank you?
You letting us do what we do for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Nadine.
Yeah. You know, every once in a while I got to bring you to church, right?
Hallelujah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I love being with you. Thanks for being here today. Thank you. If you would like to be considered for a term on your Board of Trustees, this is a privilege afforded active, eligible members. Every October at the annual meeting, 2 seats come available. Nomination forms and job descriptions are available to you at the Welcome and Information Station. If that would be of interest to you, please give it a read. Men's Retreat, November 2 through 4. We have, at last count, 14 spots available, I believe it was. This is facilitated by Reverend Michael Bogar, truly a leading mind in men's spirituality and spirituality in general. The cost for the 3-day retreat is $149. As I said last week, you can't live at home for $149 for 3 days. Registration is available online, unityinlynnwood.org. New Members Sunday. If you would like to officially join this unfolding, evolving idea that we call Unity in Lynnwood, this is your day. Join me in my office immediately following this service. I said immediately following this service, and what I meant by that was immediately following this service for an experience that we call the Basics of Unity. Understand how this movement came to be and the 5 largely agreed upon tenets which serve as its foundation. All are welcome. You will have the opportunity to complete a membership application at that time, but if you simply want to be a part of the conversation, that's fine as well. Friday night, there'll be a reception in your honor. Meet your board, meet your staff, meet key leaders. Next Sunday is New Members Sunday. All emails about that will be sent by email. Did I say that right? All details, or you got the idea, right? Yes. Rabbi Ted writes, and I quote, "The high holy days have evolved over thousands of years to celebrate the essential truth of our being and the evolution of our spiritual journey. Rabbi Ted's teachings and Jenny's and Jack's musical support bring new meaning to ancient words and rituals, encouraging a more profound awakening to the possibilities of the moment. Informational postcards detailing the full offering of High Holy Days at Unity in Lynnwood are available at the Welcome and Information Station. You see, they begin on 9/9 with Rosh Hashanah. Please consider this wonderful opportunity. Join me for a sunset prayer service on the 16th of September, 9 o'clock in the evening. It's as simple as that. All are welcome. I'd love to share that with you. It's called Vespers. Every service has an ambassador. This person's role is to support you in your exploration and discovery of this unfolding, evolving divine idea. If you have a question about what we believe, about what we teach, about what is available to you during your exploration, you are welcome to engage her in conversation. We have 2. Nan Allen is the ambassador for 11 o'clock. We always have a newcomers ambassador as well. She will be located in Friendship Hall. She's easy to find, that you might have faces to go with these names. Nan Allen and Welaine Sharples, will you wave to this kind assembly of people, please? Thank you. Practical spirituality, welcoming community, an admittedly short mission statement that I believe is incredibly broad in its implications. So every week I like to support this with one of the 6 bullet points which we developed in conversation with your Board of Trustees beginning in late 2014. That is just feeling like such a long time ago now. It was both yesterday and in 2014. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. So take a deep breath. See if this is a spiritual value, if this is a position in consciousness at which you are willing to stand. It reads as follows: we welcome people from all spiritual traditions and from no spiritual tradition whatsoever into every activity of Unity in Lynnwood. How you doing with that? Woo-hoo and thumbs up. I love that. It's a tremendous message, I have to tell you the truth. I will be with our youth during 11 o'clock, but I would enjoy hearing this one twice. She's my sister of the heart. She's one of my great teachers. And she's a dear, dear friend and a gift to Unity in Lynnwood. She's offering this morning's lesson, followed by a meditation. Her name is Reverend Nina Clark. Will you welcome her, please?
Thank you, Dr. Richard. I have to say he is also my soul brother, my spirit brother, and thank you for all the support that you give me. Love it. So we're going to take a break from our regular program here for a service announcement. Cultivating Community is a quarterly event we offer here at Unity in Lynnwood, and Michelle Focus has so far done that with me every time, and as she is stepping out, I got a little nervous, and so she agreed to sit down with me and do some training and some idea sharing, and Stacy Bailey got excited, who is our new Youth and Family Director, and so the two of us are going to be offering some really fun, get to know each other, deepen our bonds as a community activities at our upcoming Cultivating Community event on September 16th at 12:30. So everyone's invited, lunch will be provided. It is so much fun. Each time it grows, and we have tremendous, wonderful fun bonding and getting to know each other. So you're welcome. Now back to our regular scheduled program. A couple of weeks ago, I was chatting with Dr. Richard about something he has shared with all of us about how when a minister chooses a subject to talk about, he or she has the wonderful opportunity to experience the effects of that. We immerse ourselves in the idea and the learning, and lo and behold, it shows up in our experience. For example, writing a talk about forgiveness seems to give one the opportunity, well, to practice forgiveness a lot. Talking about chemicalization gives one the opportunity to, well, chemicalize. So with that in mind, I thought about the topic for this Sunday very carefully, long and hard. And I decided today that I want to talk to you about the migration patterns of the monarch butterfly. And I also want to share with you a great recipe for banana bread. I love being here with you. Sunday is my favorite day of the week. I'm sure you all know by now that I'm kind of a new thought geek. Bring up spirituality or personal growth or new thought ideas, and I'm all in, which is why I love to teach and why I've come to enjoy the Sundays I get to have a conversation with you from the platform, albeit it's a one-sided conversation. So let this be an invitation into true dialogue. If I say something that raises a question for you, let's talk. If I say something that you agree with and you want to share about it, let's talk. If I say something that you disagree with and you want to share or chew on some ideas together, let's talk. In my humble opinion, Sundays are about letting a new idea in or getting some validation about some of the insights that we've gained on our own through our own investigations and practices. But as Dr. Richard says, Sundays are just a starting place. Chewing on those ideas and insights and learnings and bringing them to life during the rest of the week is what it's really all about. That's what our Tuesday night classes are for. It's one of those places where we can talk and share and dig deeper. Who here today is or has recently taken an adult ed class? So am I right? Do we dig deeper? Yeah. And I hear that small groups are doing the same thing, taking these ideas and going deeper with them. Going deeper. It's a good segue for the ideas I'd like to chat with you about today. Today is not really about banana bread. I want to talk about healing. And I want to talk about healing for two reasons. The first is that over the years that I have spent immersed in the wisdom of our forebears, a nagging feeling began to grow that new thought, as a whole, has gotten off track. The more I read, the more I became convinced that we'd lost something vitally important. What I think happened is that we became focused on the outcome, on what outpictures in the physical, and many of us lost the true value of the teaching that our founders tried to convey. The second reason is that healing is foundational to our movement. On an evening in 1886, Myrtle Fillmore attended the first what she called truth class in Kansas City, Missouri. There she heard words that would not only change her life, but the lives of generations to come. Healing is foundational to our movement, and her healing in particular, because her outer healing gave others the impetus to give her teachings a try. The truth of the matter is that unity might not exist except for Myrtle's healing. A little background for those of you who might be new or newer-ish to Unity. Myrtle and Charles Fillmore are the co-founders of Unity. In 1886, Myrtle was very ill and had been so for a long time. She'd been long diagnosed with tuberculosis and various other ailments. As she put it, we were a sickly lot and came to the place where we were unable to provide for our children. With that motivation, she attended an early New Thought class where she heard words of truth that she immediately put into practice, and 2 years later, she was healthy and well. She began practicing what she'd learned with others, and they got better as well. Charles became interested, and to make a long story short, Unity was born. So, in 1886, Myrtle attended her first truth class taught by E.B. Weeks because she was sick. And her words, "It was many years ago that the truth of being was first brought to my notice. There seemed to be urgent need of relief if my stay on this planet was to be prolonged. It was at the solicitation of friends already interested that my husband and I attended the first truth class taught in the city, Kansas City, Missouri. I must have been fully ready for the first lesson, for it filled and satisfied all the empty, hungry longings of my soul and heart. Human language cannot express the vastness of the possibilities I saw unrolled before me, my possibilities. While the routine of life went on pretty much the same, a new world opened within me. The physical claims that had been considered so serious faded away before the dawning of this new consciousness, and I found that my body temple had been literally transformed through the renewing of my mind." Through the renewing of her mind, or said another way, by a shift in consciousness. But somewhere along the way, we've changed focus. The renewing of our minds no longer seems to be the goal for many of us who set about our healing work, whether that healing work is for physical ailments or prosperity or relationships. And what I find so interesting is that when I read the works of our New Thought pioneers, they taught that it was all about the renewing of our minds. Case in point, here's what Ernest Holmes had to say when he wrote Science of Mind back in 1938. "Lessons on prosperity and mental control of conditions are sometimes dangerous because of the misunderstanding of this subject. Science of Mind is not a get-rich-quick scheme, neither does it promise something for nothing. It does, however, promise the one who will comply with its teachings that he shall be able to bring greater possibilities and happier conditions into his experience. We do not teach that you can get what you want." It doesn't get any clearer than that. Even while we teach that thought is creative and manifests, paradoxically, the focus is not on the manifestation. I don't think anyone can mark the moment when we as an overall movement changed our focus from the inner to the outer, but it's not surprising that this happened. It occurred to me a while back that because Myrtle did have a pretty spectacular physical healing, and because other New Thought leaders and students have also demonstrated notable outer manifestations, these outer manifestations are like a big flashing neon light in our world where getting and having seems to be of greatest import. New Thought is often seen as a get-stuff teaching because, in my opinion, our focus, our selling point, so to speak, has been these outer manifestations. They're obvious, they're shiny, they're desirable, they're good, and we want them. And so they can appear to be the goal. And to be honest, for Myrtle and for New Thought leader Frederick Bales, it was the goal in the beginning. Myrtle was sick and had been given months to live. Frederick Bales had diabetes before insulin was discovered, which meant at the time of his diagnosis, it was a fatal disease. So when these two first got the idea in their heads that health could again be theirs, you're darn tootin' that was their goal. It's human nature. If we're short on money, we want some. If our health is poor, we want it to improve. If we want a relationship and don't have one, then, well, we want one. And if we're uncomfortable, most of us want to get comfortable again. But in a seeming paradox, what Myrtle and Frederick learned and subsequently taught was that the outer is merely a reflection of the inner, and therefore the work is to be done always, always in consciousness. And when you read their words, true healing happened on the inside first and then showed up on the outside. Here's Myrtle sharing her learning about this. At that time, healing seemed the most important thing in life to me. I loved seeing folks get well and happy. I do yet, but I have learned that the spiritual awakening and the daily development of Christ's powers are more important. The soul must be awakened and brought to a realization of the truth and encouraged in the righteous use of all the God-given faculties and powers. The individual must be helped to unify his spirit, soul, and body in harmonious spiritual living, here and now. Your spiritual awakening is the important thing. So backing up, if Myrtle hadn't been sick, she might have never agreed to go listen to E.B. Weeks. Or if she had, his words may have not had the same influence on her. As it was, because she was so sick and wanted to be well, his words landed on her in a very impactful way. So this illness of hers led eventually to her spiritual awakening. Myrtle's illness was the impetus for her spiritual awakening. In the same vein, if Frederick Bale's circumstances hadn't been so dire, he may never have had the impulse that led him to Thomas Troward's works. His illness was also the impetus for his seeking, which led to his spiritual awakening. So I'm just going to leap right off the cliff here, and I hope you'll catch me. This is a different way of looking at difficult circumstances. Difficult circumstances can be viewed as the impetus to get us up out of our easy chairs and into motion for growth. Sometimes we need to get uncomfortable in order to grow, which means that we might want to stop viewing illness as a failure or that we've done something wrong. We don't know how many in Unity were healed during the time of Myrtle and Charles because according to James Dillett Freeman in his book, The Household of Faith, at first, the Fillmores did not publish many testimonials of healing in their magazine because, as they said, they wanted to place the emphasis on the teaching and on the spiritual results rather than on physical ones. Why do you think this is? Again, my opinion, because after all, Sundays are a kind of one-sided conversation. I think that once Myrtle understood that it was her inner healing that was the real deal, that it was an inside-out job, she knew that if the emphasis was placed on the outer results rather than the inner shift in consciousness, people would show up expecting to be healed without understanding the importance of the inner shift, which must occur first. People might still follow the recipe, so to speak, but looking to the world of form rather than to our inner landscape is not how it works. If our attention is on the outer, waiting for results to show up without having made the shift in consciousness first, it can make God or the universe or principle seem fickle or capricious, or leave us feeling that our teachings don't work consistently. I think many of us have had this nagging feeling that our teachings don't work anymore. And I think this just might be because we're working with the wrong definition of healing, and we're missing out on the true value of what Unity and New Thought teaches in general. And if we get that back, we might have more of the good in our lives that we're wanting. So, what might be a better definition of healing? When I read what our New Thought teachers are telling us, this is what I hear. Healing isn't about the body. Healing isn't about materializing outer stuff. Healing is about wholeness. It's about truth. It's about the knowing so deep that it cannot be doubted, that we cannot be separate from God. It's about knowing that we know that we know that. It is a felt state. We know it so much that we feel the Godness flowing in our veins. We experience the breath of God in our lungs. We know it to be in every crevice of our being, both physical and energetic. We are whole. We are one with the one. It is a knowing of the truth of our being that is so pure that when we close our eyes and whisper it to ourselves, it rings clear and pure throughout every molecule of our being, and it bumps into nothing that contradicts it. It is a knowing that knows that all that is true about God is true about us. It is that truth that Yeshua ben Joseph taught that sets us free. The healing happens inside first. It is a healing of our mind, of our beliefs, of our positionality. And like Ernest Holmes says, when we comply with the teachings, stuff also shows up in our outer lives. But I'll bet if you talk to almost all of those people who have done just that, they will tell you that the healing happened on the inside first, that there was an inner shift before the results showed up on the outside. And I know that there are some right here in our community who would attest to that. The shift in consciousness is always internal, always inside. It's what Myrtle was talking about when she said, human language cannot express the vastness of the possibilities I saw unrolled before me, my possibilities. While the routine of life went on pretty much the same, a new world opened up within me. But a momentary realization, no matter how profound, needs support from us, and we know this. We've all had profound insights. I know that I certainly have, where I just have to sit down, it's so big. But it won't sustain itself. If I enjoy it for a few minutes and then go about business as usual, it will fade, and I won't reap the benefits of it. I have to sustain it by reaffirming it, by bringing it out of the fleeting aha and into the marrow of my bones. And that takes persistence and dedication. And Myrtle spoke to that in her own practice. For that shift in consciousness to show up in form, we must first do the work that makes it part of the fabric of our being. Dr. Richard put it beautifully last Sunday when he said, until we can sustain it in consciousness, we cannot sustain it in form. And apparently Myrtle agreed with Dr. Richard. It's a quantum thing. For she went to work. She spoke words of truth daily to herself, informing every particle of her being that all of her was inseparable from God. And she did this deliberately, with diligence, with patience, with attention to detail, leaving no stone unturned. She knew that it wasn't enough just to have had this initial revelation while sitting in E.B. Weeks' lecture. She knew she had to bring it into the core of her being, into a knowing so deep that nothing else was entertainable. This is where prayer comes in. For some, or even many of us, and for a variety of reasons, that word prayer can have a bit of a charge on it. And I'd like to take this opportunity to dust that off, because prayer is central to what we do in Unity. And having a charge around what is central to what we do ain't helpful. Here in New Thought Land, we pray in a particular and possibly peculiar kind of way that we teach creates a position in consciousness. We don't even all call it prayer. Some of us call it scientific mind treatment, spiritual mind treatment, divine argument. But no matter what you want to call it, prayer and New Thought, in my opinion, is telling ourselves the capital T truth to the best of our knowing. And in New Thought, this means there is one infinite something. It is omnipresent, it is omniscient, it is omnipotent. It is good. We are created by it, and out of it. And in one form or another, with flowery words or simple ones, we tell ourselves that truth over and over until we get it. Over and over, because for most of us, it takes a while to really, really get it so that it sticks on the inside where it matters. But when we think the outer is the goal, many of us use the peekaboo method of prayer work. You know what I mean. I've done it too. Pray, 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 pray. Peek! Is it here yet? Pray, 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 pray. Peek! Is it here yet? Pray, 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 pray. Peek! Is it here yet? We play peekaboo with our longed-for outer manifestations rather than on focusing on deepening our knowledge of the truth. We need to look to the inside for the results. In my opinion, true healing involves letting go of those little T-truths that we think we know, the ones that limit us, that keep us thinking small. I like to think of it vibrationally. Healing or waking up is about raising our vibration. As we raise our vibration, that small thinking little T stuff that has a lower vibration is exposed. Not good, not bad, just lower frequency. Knowing that our thoughts are creative, we then take the opportunity to tell ourselves capital T truths until the capital T truth thoughts are out creating the little T truth thoughts. As we do this, we step by step come into a fuller awareness of our oneness with this amazing allness, with this amazing love, with this incredible wisdom, all with a humble vulnerability that makes us powerful. And the more we focus on the inner, keeping our attention on God, the more likely our outer circumstances will change. And they do change because our inner landscape changes, because our consciousness changes. So here it is with a bow. All healing takes place in consciousness. Even when we think we know that, we often do our work with one eye cracked open looking for tangible results. When we feel that the only validation that the work is real and worthwhile is what shows up in the physical, then we miss out on the true value of the work. The true value is the spiritual awakening, the quickening of spirit. What is the true meaning of healing? It is deeply knowing the truth of ourselves, the truth that we are inseparably one with an infinite creative intelligence. When we know that we are truly inseparable from the infinite, from the one, when we get that in our bones, that every particle of our being is made up of God's stuff, that's the healing. That's the spiritual awakening. So, if after we do all this inner work and growth and shifting, what if we don't get what we think we want? After all, Ernest Holmes was pretty emphatic. We do not teach that you can get what you want. Let me answer that like this. If Myrtle didn't have her actual physical healing, would there still be value in the work that she did? And by extrapolation, if we also don't have the expected healing, did our work still have value? If the car doesn't show up, or the perfect job, or if our illness isn't completely healed, did our work still have value? What if the gain was greater peace of mind? Would that be worth it? What if the gain was the joy of really knowing the truth of who we are? What if the gain was experiencing a more profound love? As soul, we get to keep that when we shed our mortal coil. We can't take any of the rest of it with us, but we do get to keep whatever love we gained, whatever peace we gained, whatever joy we gained, whatever wisdom we gained. Myrtle agrees. In her words, do not be concerned if you do not always get from your study and your prayers the results that your senses take cognizance of. Your spiritual awakening is the important thing. So for a time of meditation, will you take the affirmation with me again? I recommit to my spiritual awakening and the dawning of a higher consciousness through the renewing of my mind. If you don't mind, if you get comfortable in your chair, close your eyes and settle gently back. Become aware of your breath, of the gentle rise and fall of your chest. If you would, settle into a willingness to be one. And in that oneness, allow my words to be your words. There is only one life. That life is breathing me right now. That life courses through my veins, thrums in every cell, and is the very vibratory energetic of the light being that I am. With my mind's eye, I search every crevice of my being, physical, mental, emotional, and etheric, and I speak into those places the truth that only God is here. No matter where I look, I know there is only God, life, light, love. I let that truth unfold within me. I let it take root. I let it blossom. I claim my God nature a little more right now. A little more right now. No separation. And so all that is true of it must be true of me. I let that truth settle in to the deepest parts of me, and it is so. Quietly, without forcing or struggling, I allow a shift in consciousness to occur. I allow my vibration to gently increase. I allow the knowing of my God nature to strengthen. And I allow the power of love to melt away any old perceived limitations. And I rest now in this new place filled with peace. And so it is.
Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Here I am, vessel to be used. Whatever spirit needs of
So we can all take a collective deep breath. Take that in. Thank you, Reverend Nina. I have now heard your message twice, and I'm still uncomfortable, and I'm grateful. So now it's time that we collect our offering. So as you prepare your tithes and your love offerings, I want to say that we come together as a spiritual community, and we recognize the power of giving and thanksgiving. We know that our prosperity comes from the highest source, and we're grateful that we have the opportunity to share our wealth where it's needed most. As a community with one mind and one heart, we bless the gifts that are about to be given, and we rely on our wisdom and truth to guide us where they are needed most. We also want to thank and acknowledge our gratitude to our online community that is with us today for your donations made through our live stream and our website. And we say thank you, and so it is.
Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen. Blessed always, blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
Thank you, God, that your living spirit of truth, expressing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you so much, ushers, for your service. As I mentioned at first service, when Reverend Nina was wrapping up, I heard the strings of the Rolling Stones singing, "You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need." I don't know if they believed in New Thought, but doesn't matter, does it? So we have announcements in a second, but what I want to say is if you are here for the first time, or if you're newish, or as Reverend Nina said, newer-ish, and would like to learn more about Unity or Unity in Lynnwood, we've provided a newcomer's information card that says newcomer's information in the seat in front of you. You can take this with you, take a look at it. We also have a stay in touch card that you can fill out if you would like and give it to someone with an official name tag, since you all have name tags on today. This puts you on our email mailing list. Service offers about 2 email messages a month. We don't give that information out to anyone else. So if you'd like to stay connected with us. Also, there is a welcome DVD in the information rack as you exit the sanctuary to the left that you can feel free to take with you to learn some more about us. As we've mentioned, we consider ourselves to be a community of an intentional welcome, and so we'd like to recognize those who are joining us for the first time so that we can connect with you and say hello. So if you're with us for the first time and you would like us to know that you're here, if you could please raise your hand and we'll give you a quick round of applause. Thank you. And if you're with us for the first time and you didn't raise your hand, it's all good. We get it. Thank you for being brave and vulnerable with your hands today. So our announcements, if you need more details and registrations for any of our events, you can visit the Welcome and Information Station, which is in the back. The small group ministry invites you to a course of love on Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Enjoy discussions as you explore the mystical concepts in A Course of Love with Marty Schmick and Elizabeth Stachow, who are right here and wonderful. A Course in Love will meet on the first and third Wednesdays of each month. Please register. The books are in our bookstore at 20% off, and there's a lot of great things in our bookstore as well. You can experience Guru Atmanambi this Saturday. He invites you to both satsang and activation of the heart chakras toward a healthy, fulfilled life of celebration. Please register in advance, but you will pay at the door. Events are $35 and $50 respectively. If you need a scholarship or are interested in that, you can arrange that in advance. Don't miss this year's benefit auction. The theme is Mad Hatter Gala. This will be a lively adult evening of fun and fundraising. Engage in friendly bidding battles in both silent and live auctions while enjoying fabulous company, delicious wines, appetizers, dinner, and desserts, as well as wonderful music and dancing. Proceeds will underwrite critical repairs to our building's foundation and some additional renovations. Tickets are $40. Registration opens today at the auction table, which is in that corner, or by visiting unityinlynnwood.org. Now we have a video.
Aligning my mind and heart with the mind and heart of God, I center myself in pure being. In a state of spiritual realization, I remember I can never be broken, limited, or unworthy. Courageously, I rise into my spiritual nature in this moment of healing. I heal the whole of me as I accept that I am brave, I am bright, I am beautiful. As I heal in body, mind, and spirit, I support healing in my family, my community, the earth, and the world. Centered in pure being, I am a healing presence.
Chaplains, as we celebrate Unity's 25th World Day of Prayer. Register to pray at 30-minute intervals throughout the day. Return for a taco salad dinner at 6 p.m. and a service at 7 p.m. featuring healing statements and affirmations from many faith traditions and culminating with our Circle of Wholeness. Release old stories and step out with courage into wholeness through chant and prayer. And if you would like to have your prayer request included in services at Unity Village as well, please complete special prayer request forms. Prayer request forms. I don't know what I just said. Special. You got these when you came in. And you can place it in the prayer box or hand it to a chaplain. Your request will be mailed for you. Now, before you leave, consider taking a Sunday selfie. Let others know how much fun we are. Come on. All right, I didn't really take it this time. I took it last time. Kind of fun. Share it on your social media. We're not Mona Lisa. These good things are happening here at Unity in Lynnwood. You can find information in your printed program by visiting our Facebook page or the calendar page of our website at unityinlynnwood.org.
We felt a little gypped. We didn't actually get a selfie that time. Somebody take our picture after this. If you'll join me, we'll sing our peace song. Peace on earth and let
by himself who said it this way. He said, seek first that kingdom of the heavens. All the stuff and things will follow that. I think it's the same thing, Reverend Nina Clark. Seek first the consciousness of heaven. And for those who are immersed in an understanding of the Jesus teachings, understand that he was not that fascinated with your afterlife. He was discussing how we can be more effective, more mindful, more present to this earthly walk that we have chosen to do together. So to seek first the consciousness, knowing that the stuff and things will follow, is, wow. Nina Clark, right? I don't know. Take a deep breath. If there's a first name of any soul you would like to introduce into this consciousness of love and support, just speak it now. So on behalf of those souls, whether issued forth with the human tongue or the human heart, it matters not. On behalf of all those souls, on behalf of all others who have turned anything of a spiritual ear to this very conversation, we say yes. We say yes. We say yes. We don't say yes to that world of form, to that world of effect, but we say yes to the truths of God. We say yes to that higher reality that knows itself as wisdom amidst any experience of confusion. We say yes to that higher reality of life that knows neither beginning nor ending, but delights in its own ongoing current. We say yes to that love that resides beneath and behind all of it. And we say yes to a divine sufficiency. These are the waters we play in. Swim out. Swim out. Be with us. And so it's with great faith and boldness then that we speak together these closing words. There is one power and one presence in, through, and around all creation. So we go forth as the eyes of divine love, as the tongues of divine wisdom, as the hands of divine sufficiency, and the bold and ready hearts of divine life. Have a great week, Unity in Lynnwood.